Hello, darlings, and welcome back to Mozzie's Haunted Mansion. We talk about all things creepy and unusual, darlings, with Halloween all year round in our world. Let's talk spooky, shall we? Today's topic, darlings, is going to be on mediums, the ones that tell your future. Have you ever seen or talked to a medium before? If you have, darlings, let me know in the comments below if anything spooky or creepy has ever occurred. Darlings, this story is actually very, very creepy, darlings. My dear auntie does not believe in ghosts or the paranormal or mediums or the Ouija board. She just doesn't believe in such things. And this time she was going to try to find comfort, but didn't realize that these mediums actually do have some power in them, darlings. But let's get to the creepy, unusual story, darlings. So this is how the story goes. I was a little girl, and I remember in my house when I was a little girl, it was actually haunted. I'll tell you guys stories about it later. But anyway, darlings, I was little and I was with my brother and his friend, and we were all having a movie night in the living room with our pull-out bed couch. Yeah, and we were sitting there watching old black and white films, darling. So we were watching Dracula, Werewolf, The Invisible Man, Frankenstein. I mean, it was getting very, very late, darlings. We stayed up pretty late that night, and we heard a knock on the door. And after we heard that knock on the door, my father answers. And we found out that my dear cousin just got shot, and his brother was right there next to him. Then we found out that a couple of days later, his brother passed away as well. Couldn't deal with the stress and the traumatic news of his brother. And, you know, so that happened, and my dear auntie, not the one that saw the Grim Reaper, but another auntie of mine, she was very, very sad, and she felt it was very traumatic, which I did too. So she went to work, and she put the radio on, and the radio station basically told everybody that was listening, "Hello, everybody, we have a medium in today. If you want to call and speak to a loved one or to see how they're doing in the other world, please call the number." And my auntie does not believe in the paranormal whatsoever. She, for some odd reason, had this feeling of, I should call, let me just see if these are real, like these mediums are real, let's see what they have to offer me. So she got on the phone, dialed the number, and to top it off, darling, she has called the radio station several times because she wanted to get concert tickets or something. She wanted to win something, and she could never get in. But this time, darlings, the phone was actually ringing. So she picked up that phone, and the phone really rung. What happens next? Let's get to it. So let me tell you a quick history on the brothers. They both love to break dance, pop, and they love music, and they always act goofy together, and they just were best friends. Well, they were brothers, so, I mean, what more can you say? They were close. So they loved each other's company, and they always hung out with each other and depended on one another. So let's get on to what happened. So my auntie called the radio station, and they picked up the phone. She started shaking because she was so nervous. And all of a sudden, darlings, the radio station, thank you for calling the radio station. Please state your full name. And my auntie said her name. And all of a sudden, she didn't know who to contact, or she didn't know what to say. So she didn't say anything, darlings, on the phone. All she did was stay quiet. And the radio station just left it to her and the medium. And the medium told her, "I got somebody here, and they want to tell you that they are both okay and his head is okay, and the other one wants to say that he's doing fine and that they miss the family. And right now they're dancing, they're popping and dancing, and they're goofing off, and they just want to let you know they're fine. My aunt didn't say anything. I think she probably just said thank you, and then like they both hung up and they went up to the next person. But my aunt was so scared and terrified that she didn't say anything to the medium about anything. Like, she didn't even give him a hint of who they were. She just told them nothing. Dead silence, and the medium could still read her heart and doubts and feelings and her missings of her cousins. My dear auntie told me that ever since she spoke to this medium, she's been having some weird dreams of the people that would come up to her in real life and tell them about the loved ones that passed and how sad they were, and they were mourning them. And my dear auntie would, comfort them and let them know it's all right. And, just being a very sweet person, she would go home that night. And that night, she would have a dream of their loved one that just passed. And that loved one in the dream would tell my auntie, a message to give to them, to let them know that they are all right and that they are in heaven. They need to let them go so they can rest in peace. So things like that, darlings. Like, it's just odd that she has these occurrences now when she dreams and when someone tells them about their loved ones passing. So she just finds it really interesting and odd that that's happened to her. And, there are other stories that has happened to her. So if you want to hear more stories like that, let me know in the comments below. And I have tons to spill on you, darlings. Tons of creepy, weird, strange things. And maybe these are not so creepy, but they are quite strange and unusual for someone to have that ability all of a sudden, or maybe someone that had that ability but then did this, like what my auntie did, but then opened up herself to something for her to get more power, or for her to get more messages and answers. So I mean, it's kind of like you're special, so because not everybody can do this. So yeah, if you want to hear more stories like this, give it a thumbs up, this video a thumbs up, and let me know on the comments below, or let me know somehow. So darlings, yeah, so if you want to hear more stories, don't forget to subscribe, darlings, right on the bottom below. So anyway, darlings, thank you so much for watching today and for listening to these wonderful, creepy, unusual stories. And I want you to have a great night, and I'll see you next time, darlings. I'm going to go off and snuggle with my cats and maybe get some hot cocoa or some bubbly water. Actually, I think I might go get bubbly water. Anyway, darlings, au revoir.